the Thanksgiving holiday is one of the biggest weekends of the year for moviegoers. Disney's animated movie Moana earned nearly $16 million by the end of its first full day of release. It's on track to make more than $80 million over the 5-day holiday weekend. Moana is just one movie making headlines this fall. A.O. Scott is a chief film critic for the New York Times. Dana Stevens is a movie critic at Slate, and they join us this morning. Good morning to both of you.
Morning.
Hi. I'm going to start with the real movies versus the animated version here. Manchester by the Sea. I've heard a lot about this. Michelle Williams in it, also Casey Affleck. It's getting Oscar buzz already. What are the critics? What are you saying about it?
Well, it's a very impressive, it's a very sad movie. I mean, it is really kind of the feel-good, feel-bad movie of the year.
Not just feel bad.
Yeah.
Not just feel good.
Not just feel good.
It's a lot of feelings packed.
A lot of
Feeling bad often does lead to Oscars.
It's the all the feelings movie. And Casey Affleck, I think, is the performance is really tremendous. He plays a guy who goes back to his hometown, Manchester, New Hampshire, Manchester, Massachusetts, after the death of his brother. And there's another tragedy kind of lurking behind him, and you find out what it is in the middle. And he's just dealing with grief and just kind of the shattering of his life and trying to rebuild it partly through his relationship with his teenage nephew. It's very nicely observed. There's a lot of unexpected humor and warmth in it. It's good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite movies of the year. I think that one.
Well, so I'm really all about La La Land. I hear that that's going to be amazing. It's got Ryan Gosling, Emma Stone. What are you guys hearing?
La La Land is, again, I think one of my favorite movies of the year. It's a very, how would you describe it? It's a very retro musical. It's not set in the past, it's set in the present day, but it really feels like an old MGM musical with lots of, bright colors and great choreography and original music.
And that works now in present day. We're not the musical generation, really.
High school musical.
Yeah, I guess
Dana.
Well, that's the question in a way, because I think a lot of critics, including both of us, really liked it and thought, this is a great reinvention of this form. The question is, will audiences, in particular younger audiences, respond to it in the same way? The people who have grown up, who are crazy about Hamilton and High School Musical and watched Glee, whether that will translate into an appetite for a musical that didn't originate on stage. It's original for the screen.
Yeah, but that makes it feel like it belongs as a movie. It doesn't feel like a filmed play or something.
Dana, or both of you, we could talk about Moonlight, because I've heard, you've both seen Moonlight, haven't seen it, have heard a lot of really good things about it.
Moonlight is my movie of the year.
Moonlight, yes.
Moonlight is really the movie that has just kind of moved and surprised me the most. It's just a beautiful story of a young man growing up in Miami. It's told in 3 chapters. 3 different actors play him at about the age of 10 as a teenager and then as a young man. And it's just such a sensitive, intimate, quiet, beautifully made movie. It's really, I can't think of anything to compare it to.
And it's a movie that really upends your expectations, because it's set in the housing projects, it's set in the ghetto, it's sort of about drug dealers, and you sort of think it's going to be this gritty, violent story. And in fact, it turns into a real love story by the end. Yeah, Moonlight is something that not a single person I've sent to it has not loved it.
Yeah.
Fences with Viola Davis also getting a lot of talk. I think I just saw a preview finally for it. Feels like whatever she does, we want to go see, but what sort of sets this apart? Some people may remember this from the stage, actually.
Yeah, and this very much does feel like you're watching a play brought to the screen. It's directed by Denzel Washington, who also stars in it, and it's just, it's a wonderful play by August Wilson, and it's just, if you want to see 2 actors just go at it at the very height of their craft, I think it's just amazing. Both Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, when they're on the screen, you're not thinking about anything else. You're just watching these 2 people.
All right, those films are acting. Let's talk about what I'm really interested in. Star Wars. Everybody knows me. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. Rogue One. I'm waiting for it. The world is waiting for it. What have you heard? You haven't seen it, but what have you heard?
They're keeping it under wraps for us until the last second as well.
Really?
All I know about Rogue One, if you're a Star Wars head, you'll know this better than me, but it's the first chapter in this Star Wars anthology, kind of like a spin-off series that they're starting. So it's not going to have any of the original characters, and it's going to be sort of, maybe the analogy would be how this new Fantastic Beasts movie is related to the Harry Potter franchise, right? It's sort of like a new offshoot.
But if
Star Wars is not a Star Wars.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. So the word is that the trailer came out, but then they did some reshoots. Have you heard anything about that?
They don't tell us about these. We're generally the last people to know about movies like this.
Got to go on the nerd blogs, Tony.
right.
Got to go on the nerd
Usually
blogs.
when they do that, they don't want to show it off. But I think this is obviously a different situation.
Yeah, this is just because they don't want piracy or any leaks or anything like
Exactly.
that.
A.O. Scott, Dana Stevens, thank you both very much. Happy
Thanks so much.
Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Happy
Same.
holidays.